Have you ever wondered how secure open-source software really is? It's a question many of us have asked, given the ubiquity of such software in our digital lives. The common perception is that open-source software is inherently more secure. The reasoning, its transparency, and the more eyes argument. This belief suggests that because the code is open to all, there's greater visibility into its flaws and thus greater opportunity for these flaws to be fixed. It's a world where the entire internet becomes a development team, hunting for bugs and patching them up. But like many things in life, the reality isn't quite so rosy. Open source software is only as secure as the resources and people allocated to maintain it. What happens when there are fewer eyes than needed, or when the wrong eyes, such as those of cybercriminals, are looking? Moreover, studies have shown that a significant majority of commercial apps contain open source components that are no longer updated, or worse, abandoned. This brings us to the story of Heartbleed, a critical vulnerability discovered in 2014. Heartbleed was a bug found lurking in OpenSSL, an open-source encryption protocol used by major companies like Google, Facebook, Netflix, and Yahoo. In 2014, the discovery of this bug sent shockwaves across the digital world. It had the power to trick vulnerable servers into revealing sensitive data like usernames and passwords. The security of countless applications and services, from VPNs to instant messaging and email platforms, was now in question. Imagine the chaos. OpenSSL, a crucial cog in the machinery of secure communications programming across the web, had been compromised. And who was at the helm of OpenSSL? A small team of 11, with a core team of 4 and only one full-time employee. This was the team tasked with securing privacy and security services for droves of major companies, all on limited resources. This discovery stirred up a hornet's nest. It was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that could exist within open-source software. OpenSSL, despite being a cornerstone of online security, had its Achilles heel exposed. The discovery of Heartbleed exposed a significant problem with open-source security. The aftermath of Heartbleed was a wake-up call for the open-source community. As the dust settled, it became evident that Heartbleed had exposed a significant flaw in the open-source security paradigm. Cryptography expert and software engineer John Callis, who had worked on a similar project to OpenSSL, made it clear that maintenance issues in the open-source world were a real problem. He said, "Figuring out how software packages, which are essentially digital infrastructure, get supported and maintained is a huge issue." Heartbleed had laid bare a harsh reality. The more eyes argument, which posits open-source software as more secure due to its transparency, only holds water when there are enough eyes on the project. But the truth is, many of these projects were being supported by a handful of people, sometimes even just one person, often working without compensation. The Heartbleed incident served to underscore a stark truth. Open-source software is only as secure as the resources and people allocated to maintain it. The open-source community had to grapple with this reality in the wake of Heartbleed, leading to a shift in the perception of open-source security. The more eyes argument was no longer enough. There had to be the right eyes, and they had to be adequately compensated for their work. Heartbleed showed us that open-source software is only as secure as the resources and people allocated to maintain it. With this newfound understanding, the open-source community would have to rethink its approach to security and maintenance, to ensure that a situation like Heartbleed could never happen again. So, what can we learn from the Heartbleed incident? The importance of maintaining open-source software cannot be understated. The more eyes argument, while compelling, only holds true if those eyes are backed by ample resources and the right people actively maintaining the software. Without these critical elements, open-source software can become a ripe target for exploits and attacks, as we saw with Heartbleed. This incident served as a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking in unmaintained or poorly maintained open-source components. OpenSSL, despite being a vital cog in the internet's secure communications machinery, was largely maintained by a small team of unpaid volunteers. This lack of dedicated resources ultimately led to a major vulnerability going unnoticed until it was too late. The Heartbleed incident underscores the need to shift our perspective on open-source software. Rather than viewing it as an inherently secure alternative to commercial software, we must recognize it as a valuable digital infrastructure that requires vigilant maintenance, just like any other critical system. The open-source community thrives on collaboration and transparency, but these strengths are only as effective as the collective effort behind them. If we want to reap the benefits of open-source software without exposing ourselves to unnecessary risks, we must invest in its upkeep. The story of Heartbleed reminds us that in the realm of open-source software, vigilance and maintenance are key to ensuring security.